Imagine wading into the crystal clear waters of a tropical paradise. Warm sun on your skin, gentle waves lapping at your feet. You pull out your phone, eager to capture the moment, when suddenly a shadow moves beneath the surface. Before you even have time to react, BAM! A force like a steel trap clamps down on your arm. A 7-foot bull shark has locked its jaws around you. You scream, thrashing in the water, but the predator isn't done. It circles back, and in a matter of seconds, your world is changed forever. This isn't a scene from a horror movie, this is real life. And for one Canadian tourist in the pristine waters of Turks and Caicos, this nightmare became a reality. Today, we're diving into the harrowing tale of a woman whose dream vacation turned into a battle for survival. We'll uncover the terrifying details of the attack, the heroic efforts of her husband to fight off the shark, and the shocking truth about what may have provoked this deadly encounter. Could this have been prevented? Are shark attacks really as rare as we think? And most importantly, what should you do if you ever find yourself face to face with a shark? Stay with me, because you do not want to miss this one. Welcome to Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, the channel that takes you deep into the wildest, most jaw-dropping encounters between humans and nature's most dangerous predators. From deadly shark strikes to terrifying big cat attacks, we bring you real-life survival stories, expert insights and life-saving tips that might just help you stay alive if you ever find yourself in a similar situation. If you love thrilling, edge-of-your-seat storytelling and mind-blowing true encounters, then you are in the right place. Smash that like button to show your support, because it helps us create more content like this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new upload, because trust me, we have some insane stories coming your way. But we don't just want you to watch, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, have you ever had a close call with a shark or another wild animal? Do you think this attack was bad luck, or was the tourist taking a dangerous risk? And what animal encounter freaks you out the most? Let's get the conversation going. Your comments might even be featured in a future video. Now buckle up, because this is one savage story you'll never forget. Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, where nature fights back. The sun hung high in the sky over Providencial, the crown jewel of the Turks and Caicos Islands. The air was thick with the scent of salt and warm sand, while the crystal-clear waters sparkled like liquid diamonds beneath the Caribbean sun. It was the kind of postcard-perfect day that travelers dream about, a paradise promising peace, relaxation, and unforgettable memories. For one 55-year-old Canadian tourist, this was supposed to be just that, a dream vacation with her husband. The couple had arrived in Turks and Caicos only days earlier, eager to escape the frigid temperatures back home in Canada. They had spent the morning lounging on the soft white sands of Thompson's Cove Beach, a secluded stretch of shoreline known for its calm, inviting waters. Unlike some of the more crowded tourist hotspots, this area offered a more tranquil, intimate experience, perfect for snorkeling and capturing the breathtaking scenery. The woman had been mesmerized by the marine life swimming just beneath the surface. Small schools of vibrant fish darted in and out of the coral, while gentle waves rolled lazily onto the shore. The conditions were perfect, the water was warm, the sun was bright, and the visibility was unmatched. It was the ideal setting for an unforgettable photo. Armed with a waterproof camera, she waded a few yards offshore, the cool water reaching just above her knees. She wasn't alone. Other beachgoers were also in the shallows, some snorkeling, others simply soaking in the natural beauty of their surroundings. She adjusted her mask and took a few test shots, capturing the pristine underwater world in all its glory. But she was looking for something more, something spectacular, something wild. That's when she saw it. A large, dark silhouette glided through the water, moving effortlessly just a few feet away. At first she thought it was a massive fish, maybe a stingray or a harmless nurse shark. But as the shadow grew clearer, her excitement spiked. This was no ordinary sea creature. It was a shark. A thrill of adrenaline coursed through her veins. What an incredible photo this would be. A chance to capture a wild shark up close, a story to tell for years to come. She took a step forward, camera poised, carefully inching closer, hoping to frame the perfect shot. Others on the beach noticed the shadow as well, murmuring amongst themselves. Some snapped quick pictures from the shore, while others took a few cautious steps back. But she didn't retreat. She saw an opportunity, a rare moment that most people would never experience in their lifetime. The shark, seemingly indifferent to her presence, moved slowly through the shallow waters, its dorsal fin breaking the surface like a razor through silk. Unaware of the danger she was stepping into, she tried to position herself at the best angle, adjusting her camera settings to capture the movement perfectly. Then, without warning, the shadow changed course. The shark had noticed her. At first, it was subtle, a small flick of its tail, a shift in its movement. But then it circled back. The excitement she once felt was now mixed with an unfamiliar sensation. Something was different. The water suddenly felt colder, the air seemed heavier. Her heartbeat quickened. As the massive predator turned and locked onto her position, she realized, perhaps too late, she was no longer the one watching the shark. She was the one being watched. Then, in an instant, everything changed. For a moment, everything seemed frozen in time. The once gentle waves now carried an ominous energy, as if the ocean itself had shifted in response to an unseen force. The woman, still gripping her waterproof camera, barely had time to process what was happening before the shark made its move. Then, without warning, it struck. A violent surge of water exploded around her as the predator lunged. The massive creature closed the distance in a heartbeat, its sleek, torpedo-like body moving with terrifying precision. Before she could react, rows of razor-sharp teeth clamped down on her thigh with bone-crushing force. A blood-curdling scream ripped through the air, shattering the peaceful ambience of the beach. The once clear water turned a horrifying shade of red, clouding around her in a widening pool. The sheer power of the bite sent shockwaves of pain through her body, her nerves igniting like wildfire. The shark's jaws, capable of exerting thousands of pounds of pressure, sliced effortlessly through flesh, muscle, and even bone. The force yanked her off balance, her body twisting violently as she struggled to escape. She thrashed desperately, instinctively trying to pry herself free, but the predator was relentless. With a brutal shake of its head, the shark tore into her leg, its serrated teeth sawing through tissue with surgical efficiency. The pain was unimaginable, a fiery, searing agony that drowned out every other sensation. On shore, horrified beachgoers watched in shock. Some screamed, others stood frozen, unable to process the carnage unfolding before them. A few brave individuals, realizing the severity of the attack, sprang into action, rushing toward the water in a desperate attempt to help. The woman's husband, who had been just yards away, was the first to react. He sprinted into the surf, his face twisted in terror. "Get away! Get away!" he shouted, splashing toward her, his voice nearly lost in the chaos. But the shark wasn't done. As if possessed by primal fury, the predator twisted its massive body, pulling the woman deeper. She felt an overwhelming force dragging her beneath the surface, the warm Caribbean sun disappearing as she was yanked into the dark abyss. Her lungs burned as she instinctively held her breath, the world around her becoming a chaotic blur of movement, pain, and crimson water. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the shark released her. A final thrash of its tail sent a surge of water rushing past her as the predator disappeared into the deep, vanishing as quickly as it had arrived. Whether it had been startled by the commotion or simply lost interest, the attack was over. But the damage had been done. Gasping for air, the woman surfaced, her body screaming in agony. Blood poured freely from the gaping wound on her leg, staining the water in thick, dark ribbons. Her skin was ghostly pale, her eyes wide with shock. Within seconds, her husband and a few other bystanders reached her, grabbing hold of her arms and dragging her toward shore. "Stay with me! Stay with me!" her husband pleaded, his voice breaking as he saw the extent of her injuries. By the time they hauled her onto the sand, she was slipping in and out of consciousness. The wound was catastrophic. Her leg was shredded, the muscle torn apart and bone exposed. Blood pooled beneath her, soaking the pristine white sand in a stark contrast of life and death. "We need help! Call an ambulance!" someone shouted. One beachgoer, a trained nurse, immediately sprang into action, using a towel to wrap around the mangled limb, applying pressure in a desperate attempt to slow the bleeding. The woman's breathing was ragged, her body trembling violently in shock. Minutes passed like an eternity. Sirens wailed in the distance, the sound cutting through the panicked murmurs of onlookers. Emergency responders arrived swiftly, paramedics rushing onto the scene with medical kits in hand. They worked frantically, securing a tourniquet just above the wound to stem the blood loss. "She's going into shock! We need to move now!" one of them barked. Her husband clutched her hand as they loaded her onto the stretcher, his face streaked with tears. "You're going to be okay, baby. Just hold on, please." As they sped toward the hospital, the reality of what had happened sank in. The dream vacation had turned into a nightmare, and the woman, fighting for her life in the back of an ambulance, would never be the same again. Wow! What an absolutely terrifying experience. This story is a chilling reminder of just how unpredictable nature can be. One moment everything seems fine, and the next you're face to face with one of the ocean's deadliest predators. It's a true testament to both the power of wildlife and the resilience of those who survive these encounters. But what do you think? Could you survive a shark attack? What would you do in a situation like this? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you love gripping edge-of-your-seat stories like this, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets us bring you even wilder tales of survival. And if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Savage Tales Animal Encounters. We're diving deep into real-life survival stories, predator showdowns, and the most jaw-dropping animal encounters you'll ever hear. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this incredible community of adventure seekers and wildlife enthusiasts. I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember, when nature strikes, survival is never guaranteed. This is Savage Tales, Animal Encounters. See you in the next one.